Welcome to the Fantasy HQ podcast, all things NRL Fantasy. Find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Facebook. Your hosts, Frosty and Steve.
Welcome to another episode of Fantasy HQ, all things NRL Fantasy. Fortunately, Steve has succumbed to the dreaded man flu this week, so I'm running it alone. Possibly celebrated that famous Maroons victory a little bit too hard, but enough of the Origin chat, that's in the past now. And we'll jump right ahead. So, quick look at my efforts from last round. Really pleased, last bye round. Managed to score 742 and make some positive inroads of about 80 ranks. So, sitting there at about 450 now. And made a bit of a whoopsie there with, trade him in. Really nervous of Jolliffe. And coming for 28, I thought, it was a much safer bet, and didn't turn out to be. So the first two were fantastic there, Starling Tavanga for Tino and Clark. But, a bit of a whoopsie there. But, hey, that's life, and we carry on. So we can jump straight ahead. So this week it'll be short and sharp. It'll be into trade targets, in the bin candidates, and then that'll be us. So let's have a wee look at our round 20 trade targets. Starting in the hooker department again, Connor Watson finds himself there again. 55 average. He's going to be rock solid, dual position. He's priced at 51 at the moment, so slightly underpriced for where we finished for the season. Great option. He's on top. Reid Mahoney. Dogs have settled, it looks. Galvin to 7. Sexton dropped. Reid in his last 8 games been playing 70 minutes plus, an average of 49. So not the worst option there. Reece Robson coming back from Origin. His price has dropped away a little bit. He's currently priced at 43, and he can be that hooker that averages a 50. So that's our left field pod play, and not one I mind myself. And then the cash out option there of De Silva. 230k. He's job sharing, so he's not going to shoot for the stars, but he'll spit out 30 points a week and do a wee job there if ever called upon. In the front row, Tino, spoke about him just before I brought him in last week, but he's priced at 46. 56 average at lock this year, so in my eyes, an underpriced keeper for the run home. I'd be getting him in even with a slightly high break even this week, but hey, he loses 15 or 20k and that's going to be about it. And what's that right now, unless that is going to be the difference in bringing in a Cleary, a Yao or a Haas. Next round, I'd be pulling the trigger otherwise. Joe Tarpany, when he gets above 50 minutes this season, and that's at an average of about 55, his points is a 62 average. So that is gun, and that's all I need to say there. If you don't have him, Ricky should be running him to consolidate that number one spot. And maybe he gets less minutes or a rest that last round, but so will the Storm, so will a lot of these other players that we're picking up. So it's really not the end of the world there. Pod play there, another Dogs player, Maxi King. We know what he's going to chuck out. Consistent 50 to 55. Tarpany, Tino, they can chuck out a high score than King, but they can also chuck out the lower ones in the 30s, where King most likely won't. So if you're after that consistency and a bit of a pod play low owned, King might be the one this week. And a real left field, Thomas McKaylee there from the Cowboys. A couple of explosive efforts the last couple of rounds for a 57 and a 45. But how long's the runway? McLean's out with a calf issue, might be back next week, maybe not. Time will tell, but just a left field option there for those trying to come up with some different options. Over the edge, Angus Crichton is first up. 600k, he can be a 55 average edge. We know who he can be. Origin's behind him. Sam Walker's back, looked good down that left edge. Didn't have an offload to his name, I don't think, and still put out a good score. So, hey, he could be 55 plus, maybe even pushing that 58 to 60. So, jump aboard. If you've got Lucas and you're looking for an option, Angus is right at the top of that list. Then we've got Katoa. He's there again and again. No buys. You know what you're going to get. He's a gun edge. If you're looking for those, they are the way to go. I'd put Crichton first, as you can see, then Katoa, but if you like the Storm, you like Katoa as a player, hey, fill your boots. Charlie Geimer is the pod option there at edge this week. He made his way back onto the edge, 80 minutes, spat out of 59. So, hey, look, there's a bit of promise there. Went all right. I think there's a 40 and a 52 minutes on the edge earlier in the season. So if he keeps the spot, will be more than handy. But that's the question at the Eels this year is how long is that runway? So if you're willing to risk it, I wouldn't blame you. But also don't be surprised at the same time if he's hooked and either on the bench or playing reserves next week. So that is the risk there with him. And Sukkah finds his way back. If he didn't jump on last week, he proved his worth. He spat out a 40, 41, and you're happy with that at his price. So a week or two left for that wee cash out option at edge. Halves, a couple of Dogs boys to kick things off. Galvin, as I mentioned earlier, the Dogs look to have settled, made their move, shown their cards. Galvin's the 7. Priced at 34, with about 170 kick metre averages last year at the Tigers. He averaged 50, and that was with about 120 running metres. So he's not probably going to quite get that there at the Dogs, but he will still be front footing it. He still will be attacking, but it might sit around the 80 to 100 metres instead of 120. So it's only 2 or 3 points, but don't be surprised if Galvin comes out and averages 45. So there's 11 points of value, and maybe that 19th to 20th spot on the squad that you're looking to fill out. Burden, couple of games where Galvin come off the bench, one against the Eels, one against the Panthers after the last 20 minutes, and at 7 for Sexton. Burden still dominated the kicking there. So with this is the way that the Dogs are settling, I think Burden still will go. I said last week, take away his injury games, he's averaged 50 at 5'8 there, and another good game for a 54 last week. Underpriced, I would be more than happy to be getting him in around that 17 to 19th spot in your team. And Hines, wild card, hey, the old Hines returned for once and gave us a 90. Not going to get that every week, but he jumped 50k, so if you're going to take that risk and go that way, I would say that this is probably the final week, so that's why he finds his way onto our list. And Daniel Atkinson, like this week in the half spot, really no cash out options without getting meaningful minutes, but he is first cab off the rank if a Hines or a Trent was to be falling injured or suspended. So if you're looking for a cash out there in the halves, don't mind it, and you might just get lucky and get 5 or 6 weeks starting from down the track. Centres, Beau Fermor, Lissett, I spoke about in the edge spot, replacement for Lucas being Angus Crichton. If that's in the centre spot you'll need, then Beau Fermor is it, if you've already got the likes of a Farnworth. 80-minute edge, like Lucas, averages 55, no complaints. He'll be rock solid, he won't let you down, so that would be a straight swap option as well there if you're needing a centre. Carraz, again we know his game, he's a fancy relevant player. Offloads, tackle buster, 150 metres plus running a game. A little bit quiet last game, but it's just about a low score for him. So if he's 30, 33 at worst, and that's only going to be one in every 5-6 games, you probably get another one of those in the last 9 or so games. Average of 45 to 50 hopefully, and be a good pickup. Adam Dewey, look, there's not a lack of left field and pod plays this week. He's been named at lock, so Benji, we've mentioned him in the last couple of weeks. You don't know what this guy's up to, and here's another twist. Dewey at lock, May's making his return to the NRL at centre and towards the other one, so you'd like to think that's probably going to be it for a little while, meaning that Dewey quite possibly get a few rounds at lock, and if that's to be the case, I wouldn't be surprised if some good scores are out. He did go large last round, so this would probably be the round if you were going to roll the dice again there with a pod play. You sit on it for a week and see how he goes. He's probably going up another 40k, and that ship would have sailed. So an option there. And then Tapa for the Dolphins. Look, at centre on fantasy, but he's getting a wee start at prop. A couple of games in the past fortnight, he's looked all right. So if he can get 40 minutes, 45 minutes, a great cash out option here at centre. and although it might only be for 2 weeks, with a couple of cattle coming back for the Dolphins around that round 22, possible to loop the next 2 weeks, and then he just sits down the bottom there as one of your cash out options. So all good if that's the case. If he was to be dropped, for example, you're not going to be upset because it was a cash out option anyway. And then onto the winged fullbacks. Latrell kicks things off. Look, Origin's done and dusted. Another one of those guys that's behind him now. Averages 60 a fullback this year. 450 kicking metres on average. So that's a real solid stat that he's got behind him this season. It's probably a point difference compared to previous years. Really relying on those kicking metres from him this year. So as to his base, he's a rock solid option. So if you're looking for a wing fullback, he would be our go-to guy. Turbo there if you're looking for a cheaper option. Named at centre again, but he's spat out a 49 and a 64 for his first 2 games at centre. So hey, looking promising. Still looking fairly lethal there. You'd like to think less injury risk there as well. So he's on the up. If he's named there again next week as well, that'll be his 4th time this year. And he should grab that centre wing fullback duel after team list are named next week. So also look out for that. And if that does happen, makes him an even better option. Campbell, look, you can either go for him this week or certainly next week. His break-even sitting around that 80 mark this week, so I certainly wouldn't blame you for waiting a week. But if you back him to get a 60 plus, where he's only going to lose that 10 or 15k anyway, and it's not the end of the world. So just weigh that up, but certainly someone who's on my radar, if not this week, certainly next week. And then Papali'i from the Eels there. Dylan Brown looks like he's well and truly on the outer, signed that Knights contract. Had the old head tape round the ears, strapped up at hooker last week, finds himself at 18th man this week. So yeah, his stocks aren't great. Great for this young fella to get a crack, and it looks like they're trying to blood him and give him his crack to see what their team's going to shape up like for next year. And again, just a cash out option, 230k. Coming off for 20 last week, so it's not flash, but hey, if he busts out a 50 here or there and gets a little bit of cash generation for a late season trade, that's a win, but just a nice cash out option there. And yep, so that is our round 20 trade targets. So now we will move along and we'll look at some in the bin candidates. Goodbye, again, straight out of your team, no questions asked. Don't second guess it. The humming and the hawing type of players, do I, don't I, could this happen, could that, cut the mind games, don't take the risks, get them gone, and then one more week. Those that we believe, at best, one more week, see how it goes, either if you've got them in your team, or if you're thinking of bringing them in. So let's rip into it here. Goodbye. Nice and obvious first one for the week. Dylan Lucas, Liz Frank injury, gone for the season. I spoke about a couple of handy options there in Angus Crichton or Beau Fermor. Jack Bird, see you later. Unfortunately, didn't slot back into the edge role there. Sukkah seems to have it, so out he goes. A bit of a disaster there for anyone who went the Bird option a couple of weeks ago. Hugo Savala, look, done his job, made his money. No complaints from anyone. Didn't look as good with Sam Walker back. Obviously, he's going to probably dominate the ball a little bit. That left edge looked good with Crichton, like I said. And it means Savala sort of takes the back seat, which isn't what you're after. We thought he might get that 50 average. Probably not the case now. A wee injuries popped up this week, definitely out. Possibly next week. Yeah, not worth it. See you later. Much the same as Kotoga from the Eels. If you managed to hold him, well and truly done his job. Scored his points for you. Outpowered a positive average. Made his money. But yeah, injury, a week or two out. Eels still with a bye as well, I believe. 30k, 35k, and you can upgrade him to Angus Crichton, which if I had him, that would be my move, no questions asked. So there's a possible option for you if you do have him. Don't second guess. John Bateman, last week gave him the one more week. This week, team list roll round, and it's still that groin nickel win. This time of the season, we just can't be playing around with soft tissue issues. So cut the guessing game, cut your losses before it becomes another week and another week. And talking about soft tissue injuries, Pappenhausen, Pappy's found himself with a lingering calf issue, so same boat as Bateman. Can't be affording, hopefully back next week, possibly back next week. Fingers crossed, toes crossed. Cut your losses at wing fullback. There's plenty of options. We know some before. Up to Latrell Mitchell. Make a little bit of money down to Turbo, possibly dual position after next week. Jump on Campbell. Heaps of options there at wing fullback, so it's not like you're desperate and it's a difficult spot to fill. Don't second guess it. Cut him. See you later. Upgrade, and you won't be regretting that. Lemueli is the next on the list. Named start edge. He's got some promise. I think he's averaging around the mid-40s when he's got that starting role in seasons gone by. But Finifunuiaki is back in around 24. So the runway's not long enough here. We certainly don't have enough trades at this time of the year to be risking those. We aren't after that quick 150k cash grab. Don't be risking it. It's 2 trades. If you've only got 8 to 10 left, it puts you in a dangerous position. Too early out from the finish line. So holding off there. Feeder, to round things off. Bit of a disaster there. He is a hold off until we know that he's starting, and ideally 65 minutes at least. And we aren't going to know that until he gets to start, and then we have to watch that game to see what that role is. You'd hate for him to be named starting and play 45 minutes. Again, late in the season, we just don't have the luxury of the trades up our sleeves now to be playing those sort of games, taking those sort of risks. We want the smart plays. So if Feeder's not it, don't be second guessing it. Could he, couldn't he? Or is he going to play 80? Super unlikely. Even if he was named to start, I highly doubt he's playing 80 straight off the bat. So don't be playing those games with Fafita. On to one more week. AFB, if you've got him, one more week. Inconsistent season. Minutes-wise, he had a week stretch there a few rounds ago. 50s, a couple of wee 80s thrown in. The Fenor Blake we know. But yeah, inconsistent. If you're staying with it, it's a rocky ride. And again, it's just not the smartest one there at front row. Next week we've got Yao and Haas back. So if he goes average and spits out a 40 to a low 50s, I'll certainly be looking to move on to one of those if you are without them. Tallis Duncan, named at centre this week. Injury cover. Give him one more week, and I hope it's a 1 week situation. Back to back row, scoring you those mid-50s next week at second row. So it's a don't panic, but if that's the trade that makes sense for you to bring in an out-and-out gun, I don't blame you, but otherwise, just hold off, don't panic. He should come good from next week on. Hudson Young, look, another talk about don't panic. Don't look at this guy and see top edge in the game at the moment. I've got to get him back. He's named. Soft issue. He's got a groin injury as well. Does he get through 80? Even if he gets through 80, does he back up next week? Raiders have another bye coming up. Ricky will be smart leading up to the playoffs. Just too risky. So if he is on your radar, I'd let him play this out. Make sure he backs up. Make sure he gets through 80. But yeah, the runway's just about running out for him with another bye to break things up as well. So one more week, and then if you really want him in, and signs are looking good after this week, next week would certainly be the last week to play him. And to wrap things up here, for in the bin candidates, Harry Grant. Again, if you have him, one more week. Those of us that don't have him, we're certainly just watching one more week. Last 3 games, over 70 minutes for Harry. He's actually averaged 56, which is a keeper, what we're after, the Harry Grant we know. So it's a bit of a pod play if you want to jump on early this week. There won't be many that will, but most of us happy with Aaron Clark, so certainly a wee sneaky pod play. Storm, that in the race there, they'd need to just about win out for the minor premiership. But there's also that second spot with the Dogs up for grabs, so they might be dueling it out later in the season. Harry Grant having to play 80, and the Storm might not get that wee luxury of resting a week or 2 out from playoffs like they usually do. So Harry Grant, wouldn't mind it. Certainly looking at a pod play there on the bench, 17th, 18th spot for myself in the coming weeks, but we'll see what happens with him this week. And that is our in the bin candidates for round 20. We'll skip tips this week. We'll put that out on social media on our Facebook page, so keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, Just some final words for myself. We haven't mentioned them. I saved them till the end. Cleary, Haas, Yao, 3 absolute studs of the fantasy world. If you've got any of them, just sit on them. Talked a lot about not panicking this week with these 3 out. It's a little bit of a funny week. Some options available aren't really the desired ones for the run home. So hey, don't panic. Don't be jumping into rash decisions and then regretting it 2-3 weeks down the track. Keep it cool. It'll be probably a lower scoring round for everyone with those 3 out. So just ride the wave, be smart, calculated. Again, mention it most weeks, just don't have that tunnel vision, don't get panicked. Oh, I thought I was bringing in Cleary this week, I thought I was bringing in Yao this week, I can't, who am I going to bring in instead? If you burn that cash and fall into that trap, and then you find you can't get them back in, hey, you're in a big hole. So just take a couple breaths, take a moment, maybe even jump off the computer, off the app for a little bit, go back on, right, thinking clearly, is this the way? Because that could be the major trap of this round. Otherwise, remember to give the video a like, give us a subscribe, a follow. This will find its way to Spotify as well. So that'd be fantastic. Appreciate the support. Until next week, you know it. Go those good dogs.
We appreciate your support for the Fantasy HQ podcast, all things NRL Fantasy. Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify and Facebook, and most importantly, thanks for watching.